he didn't want them to be, we will be persecuted, and we are, and part of that is I think he didn't want them to get down on themselves, to worry about that. I mean, obviously that's kind of what I think about and read into it. Again, that's that part of the reason why I could see him doing that is, I mean, we think about when the disciples were all distraught after Jesus died, and so. He comes, he plants this church, and he teaches all them stuff, and now he's being jailed and beaten and run out of town. And so he's just telling them, remember, I told you that this was going to happen, but it's okay. Just keep the faith and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and he even goes as far as to say, this is what you guys know this. This is what we are destined for.
Yeah,
right. And that is something that you don't hear preached too often. On the large stages that get broadcast into televisions and things, is that hardship is coming. That you are destined for hardship. We would much rather hear a message about how we are destined for prosperity.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody who made a comment about I know the thing you're supposed to say is that everything will get better.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know that that's true. We are not necessarily promised that this side of eternity that things will get better. What we are promised is that we will have comfort, a peace that surpasses all understanding, and that we can be strong and then we can endure through every hardship by the name of Jesus Christ, right? And that is where our hope is in that. So, so it's interesting here, we have to accept that as believers, that there's a part of our destiny is to be persecuted or to be, to endure hard times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, reading back in verse 5, you talked about, I was afraid that in some way the tempter had tempted you and that our labors might have been in vain. He was worried about them. Like he loved them so much, and he was worried that, oh man, I hope that something, that because he knows that there is such spiritual warfare, and he taught them about it and he prepared them for it, but he was like, oh man, I hope that because he knows it's possible and he knows that it happens.
Yeah, absolutely.